Now time for the 7 things you'll be talking about today. Number 7.
An absolutely asinine proposal by presidential candidate Vivek Ramaswamy has people talking. Yeah, because it's stupid. That's why they're talking. He has suggested that any government employee with a social security number that ends in an odd number will be fired on day 1. So half the Capitol Police, half the Border Patrol, gone. So they're going to fire them all on day 1. So if you're a government employee with an even number, you better start learning the job of all the people in your office with that odd number, because they're all going to be fired on day 1. Again, a rather silly way to run a campaign, but here we are.
Number 6.
A government shutdown is set for Friday, but there is a new plan. Newly selected Speaker of the House Mike Johnson, a Republican out of Louisiana, has a plan to avoid it, and he is calling it a laddered continuing resolution. And I guess what that means is it means different levels of funding for different parts of the government, getting us past the Christmas holiday and into January 19th and February 2nd with different chunks of the federal government being funded in different ways. So that's the plan they're working on right now. It doesn't look like it has a lot of support from Republicans, because some have already said they're not going to support such a plan, but 4 days, 15-something hours.
Number 5.
A stolen vehicle on I-59 in Birmingham led to 2 groups of people getting into a shootout right there on the interstate. And the interstate was a mess, obviously, for hours afterwards, because it was a crime scene. 4 total people shot. Luckily, every single person, who were shot was involved in the incident. So they either had stolen the car or were trying to stop the person from stealing the car. I haven't seen a lot more detail. I got to believe there's a salacious story here, but it has not been told yet. Did they know each other beforehand? Was it random? Who knows?
Number 4.
Another weekend of anti-Semitism around the globe. Now with ISIS flags. Yeah. ISIS flags now showing up. That's what I find to be pretty interesting about this. Because, they're not anti-Semites, right? Okay, just checking here. So ISIS flags now showing up in the streets around the world. Will they pretend to be at rallies supporting a Palestinian state that neither the Palestinians nor Hamas actually want? Ceasefire now, darn it! Okay, Hamas, you get a ceasefire. You going to stop shooting rockets into Israel? No! You going to give those hostages up? No! You going to take this fuel the Israelis are trying to give you for that hospital? No! So, they want a ceasefire then. That's your takeaway? Good job.
Number 3.
United States Senator Tim Scott, a Republican of South Carolina, has decided to suspend his campaign for president. Even though most of us suspended our belief in Tim Scott's campaign a long time ago. But he said, look, I've been told it's not me. Okay? They don't want me. The people don't want me. They're making that clear. And he said, I'm listening to them. He did say that he was not up to being vice president. But, I don't know, that kind of stuff I would think could change if someone actually asked you to be their vice president. So we'll see where that goes. There was some question about whether or not he was going to qualify for the fourth Republican debate after being the last candidate to qualify for the last one. They did not get what they needed out of that last debate, so now the campaign is over.
Number 2.
So we're hearing this cry from Alabama legislators again. Hey, gambling is here in the state of Alabama. We should legalize and regulate it. They specifically reference Jefferson County and talk about what's going on there in Jefferson County. The level of, lawlessness. They said there are 77 illicit gambling operators in Jefferson County alone. Now, if they know them, go shut them down. I have a hard time listening to we need to allow more gambling in this state when we don't go after the ones that do it illegally. So what they're saying is if we legalize gambling, we can shut down the illegal gambling. So what that's going to look like, I have absolutely no idea, and it appears neither do they.
Now, time for the number 1 thing you'll be talking about today.
All right, qualifying for the 2020 elections is over. A lot of people are entering the fray, including 21 challengers for the newly drawn 2nd Congressional District, including, I think, the favorite from just outside the 2nd Congressional District, which is, parts of Montgomery, parts of Mobile, parts of the Wiregrass, parts of the Black Belt. Just slightly outside that area in North Huntsville, Anthony Daniels. He is the favorite in the Democratic Party, no question about it there. You got 21 total candidates in that race, 13 Democrats, 8 Republicans running in total. There are 2 Republican challengers for Terry Sewell in District 7. Her seat is less safe, although still very safe. Christian Horn of the Sports Church over there on the ump, he's running against her down in Birmingham. No Democrats qualified to run in the 3rd, 4th, or 5th congressional districts. And you've got a contested state school board race as well. So you got some stuff that's going to get some attention. It should be an interesting race down there in the 2nd congressional district. Elsewhere around the state, not really anything going on. 1st and 2nd districts, you got Republicans going against each other in District 1, Jerry Carl and Barry Moore, 21 people in District 2, and the rest seems like it could be status quo. However, Terry Sewell is having to fight a battle she's never had to fight before with I would guess, a more unfriendly district than she's had before. Still very friendly, but more unfriendly than she's had to deal with before. That is happening there in District 7. So those are the races that you should watch, and we will continue to stay on top of them. Stay tuned, folks. Stay tuned.
Get WBNN's Dale Jackson's 7 Things You Should Be Talking About Today right in your email box every morning. Go to yellowhammernews.com and sign up today.